During the last 7 years of living here off-grid at the Windwalker Homestead, every single winter we've had issues with frozen pipes. For the most part, it hasn't really bothered us because for the first few years, we didn't have a water heater, and that's the area where, the frozen pipes would happen, and, they survived every winter with no issues. Once we actually got a water heater and started using it, then every winter we would have issues with frozen pipes, and unfortunately we lost a couple of water heaters that way. They're on-demand water heaters, so it's not a tank. It's just a lot of water to heat up, a lot of propane to go through, so on-demand water heater was decided to be the best idea. That way it could just be shut off until we needed it. But the sad thing is we lost 2 water heaters, both of them obviously frozen pipes. And yes, the on-demand water heaters do have a function where if it drops below a certain temperature, it automatically kicks on and keeps itself from freezing. However, the water heater is right below our bed, and the one time we did leave it on, it kept waking us up every 20-30 minutes in the middle of the night. So that wasn't the best idea. So today, or at least in this video, it's starting to rain, but with this video, we've decided we're going to solve that problem. We got a diesel air heater. This one's from Vevor. It's 5 kilowatt. In case you're curious, 2 kilowatt, we weren't sure, if that was going to be enough to keep it defrosted. And then 8 kilowatt is just a rebranded 5 kilowatt. I don't believe there's anything special about them. It's just a 5 kilowatt with an 8 kilowatt name on it. What I'm going to be doing is mounting this on the back of the travel trailer. And I got some extra pipes here, extra ducting. I'm going to take one duct and go to the water heater and blow it directly into it to keep it from freezing. And then any air that doesn't go through there, left over, we're going to duct down underneath the travel trailer right to the dump tanks, because that's another issue we've been having is freezing valves and, freezing valves and dump tanks. And I've spent quite a few winters sitting out there with a little portable heater, a little electric one, or even a little buddy heater, just sitting down there for hours trying to get it to defrost. Not something I really care to do anymore. It's always, the coldest days, like the 0 or negative temperatures, Fahrenheit. So hopefully this will take care of both problems with one. It's a lot more efficient to run than, say just running the furnace at higher temperature or something like that. It only takes about 3 amps, on low. Start up and shut down a little bit more, but 3 amps on low. And the amount of diesel fuel it uses is considerably less than propane for an equivalent size heater. And it's also a lot cheaper, at least as far as runtime goes. If this thing would run, as far as efficiency goes, it could do a gallon in, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's something like 12, 14 hours, something like that. And then, like running the, say like a little buddy heater, if we do that, compared to a buddy heater, you got like, say 5 hours on low for a little 1 pound tank. Yeah, and the cost just really doesn't add up. I don't know where I was going with that. I had it all up here. But anyways, let's go ahead and unbox this thing. See what all we got in here. I'm not going to do like a real in-depth unboxing. Just really quickly show what's in here, and then we'll get into what I'm going to be doing. Alright, so right off the top, here's the vents. Looks like we got one that mount somewhere, like you were taking it through a wall or something like that. Yeah, this would mount on a wall. This would just clip on there because it's got 3 holes in it, so you can mount on something. The tube will go right here. That's that guy. Let's see here. Owner's manual. It's actually fairly thick. Lots of pretty pictures. Nice. Okay. Nothing on the other side, so let's go ahead and get this out of here. Nice. Okay, I was kind of worried about that. It does have a inline fuse. Some of the ones I've seen online, the people doing videos, they didn't have a fuse in here. So that is good. The wire that I'm going to be hooking up to it does have a fuse as well, but this one here is a really good thing to have. You got the remote. Then you have the actual display, which should just clip off of here. Yeah, it does. It's not held in very, or it's only held in with just a couple of clips here. But anyways, here you got the intake. You got the heat output there. And on the bottom, you will have the combustion inlet and outlet. We actually have some instructions here. Installing insulation sleeves on exhaust pipes effectively reduces surface temperature and prevent fire hazards caused by improper installation. All right, so there's that. And just to get in here, we got these little clips here. Let's have a good look at this. All right, so there we go. And I see another thing that some people were, oh, no, never mind. Okay, some people are kind of worried about this green hose. This is pretty much a brand new design, so we're gonna leave that guy on there for now. At the very least, it should last throughout the winter. But people talk about this green line basically rotting and cracking, so I just make sure I get it replaced by next winter. So that's pretty simple. Oh, fuel tank. The heater itself is right here. Pump. Yeah, it's raining, starting to rain pretty good, so hurry up and go through this. And you have this guy. This is where the combustion intake and exhaust should be, as well as the ducting. Yep, that's exactly what that is. Now the exhaust, and the ducting, and this is the air inlet. You have the muffler. That's good. I was told, watched a video saying that the straight through muffler is the best one. Got heat shielding, clamps. And I wanted to look at this too. Air filter, which supposedly is not a real air filter. Yeah, it just has a screen in here that I guess filters out the larger things, bugs and stuff like that. We live in a very dusty area, so I got another one of these that I'm going to wrap foam around. So. All right, we'll just get these things back together. Of course, I can't get it back in the box. All right, so anyways, there's that. I'm going to give it a few minutes, see if it stops. We got a little hail right now, so we'll give it a few minutes, see if it stops. And then we'll get to the back of the travel trailer, see if we can get this thing put in. All right, so right about here is where this thing's going to be mounted at. I measured, it's 16 inches from one foot to the other on the heater. So right in here is about 16 inches, so it's almost perfect. And then we're going to have one hose go down here, right down to the dump area. And the other one's going to go straight across and into the water heater, which is right here. So we'll go ahead and mount up this first one. You're going to go with longer screws for mounting, just to make sure it's more secure. I put hinges on this guy because I want there to be a wall right here that I can drop down so I can fill it easily enough if I need to. I'm going to put this guy right up like this. That should be good. And I have the top of the bolts here, and with any luck, one of the holes from the heater mount will just go right in there, and it'll help locate it. And then I'll put the other one right here. I'm just kind of hoping that I can get it up just like this. I should measure from the ground up so it's at least halfway level, just to make sure. Or we'll go from there up. So you have a nice 17 3/4. 17 3/4. Never mind. Those holes aren't quite big enough to sit over top of this. So I don't need to be that exact. Let's just double check the measurement here. I don't even know if you guys can see me. 16.5 to the outside. Yeah, right there. There we go. Well, dang it. I was hoping these lips would come out here and kind of hold it. I suppose what I can do is get a... Suppose that'll be okay. Have a little roof right here coming out. There'll be a little lip where this board would come up and hold it. So it's not horrible. It's going to be interesting going out that high. I think I'm going to have to lower it down, because I do need to be able to put fuel in it. Okay, yeah. It'd be the best. Nice. There it goes in this way, out that way. And then one down and one over. Yeah, I think that'll be perfect. And it's still going to be up high quite a bit to fill it, but that'd be all right. Yeah, I suppose now I'll put the roof over it. Make it a little bit wider. Do like 24 inches. All right, so I went ahead and got some 2x2s and a piece of metal roofing. Freaking horrible cut on this metal roofing. All I got right now is a Sawzall. My proper tool to cut it is at work, so this is what I have to deal with for now. But this will work. And what I've decided, I'm going to go ahead and have the roof right here and try to angle it down a little bit. This piece will come up and there'll just be a little piece of wood that latches right here that holds it. So I think that'll do a good enough job. So go ahead and put the little framing here together. Actually, thinking about it, it's still not going to work out very well. I'm just going to have to take it and put it down somewhere, fill it up and put it back up. And I'll worry about hinges and stuff next time. Guess it's time to get a new driver tip. Okay. That's not going to work. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Pretty close. There we go, pretty close to level. Angled down a little bit. Okay. There we go. Pick it up, pull it out. Nice. Probably gonna have to figure out a way to latch it to move it from, keep it moving from side to side, something. Anyways, so just have a simple piece of wood hanging down for a latch. These guys will come up like that. And I found another piece of wood, something that actually looks good. It was going to be just OSB, but I found a better one. Let's go ahead. It's 25 inches. And we'll go from right there. I'll go 18 inches tall, 18 by 25. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go cut that piece out, and then I'll be right back. All right, so got a piece of plywood for that right there. Something like that, one or the other. I'll go ahead and secure that on that side. And then I just cut a little piece of OSB. I have a screw right there for just turn it up and down. Simple and easy. Just try to center this as best I can. Something like that. Perfect. It'll stick out a little bit, but that'll be all right. And I just gotta be careful of those mo chuckers. Maybe I'll find some nuts and bolts or something like that to go in there instead of screws later on. But that'll work for now. Yeah, it's... I can't put it too high up because of the roof up here. I suppose I can just secure it on the sides and just push the roof up as I'm doing it. So I can do it like that. That's not going to last very long that way. That'll work. Probably get another one for that side though. So yeah, just do a quick measurement just so they're same distance, 3 inches. I'll be right back. All right, that guy there, this guy here. All right. There we go. I'll just come to right there because the roof will be on there. All right. So since the roof is going to be just a handful of screws, you know, it's like 2, 4, 6 at the most, we'll go ahead and wire this thing up and get some fuel in it and see if it works. I mean, it should. It's brand new. But I'll do that. I clear away this. This will be my little work area. We have a positive and negative here, 12 volts. We're going in here. This is the box that I had all the controls for the little heating pads for the water heater. That's what I tried last year to keep it from freezing. Didn't work. Luckily nothing split, but I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and get some fuel in it, put it back up there, wire it up, and then hook up the exhaust and everything to it. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. It might be all right to hook everything up here. Put fuel and electrical here. Let's see if you guys can see this. There we go. That's better. All right. So that's right there. Electrical connections. gonna have to go get the box with all the intake and exhaust. There's all that. When I go to put this together, I'll have it there, and I'll bring the camera down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I suppose now it's, yeah, must be electrical time. Give those a good yank. Alright, so that's it for the electrical, just positive and negative. Prime this thing up till it gets to the heater. Saying to prime it for 300 seconds. I'm not going to do that. So when the power button is turned off for the first time, long press the left button for 7 seconds, and the screen will display a countdown, 300 seconds. Pumping while after the countdown, it will automatically exit, or press the power on off button to end the pumping mode. Alright, so with the left button, 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. One, two. Alright, so it took a little bit to get everything primed up, but for whatever reason the priming function does not work on this, or I'm just doing it wrong. So go ahead and get this latch back on here. Yeah, it's been cloudy all day, so you have the generator going right now. It's right behind me. Hopefully this microphone's taking care of that. It did take a little bit, but we finally got this thing primed and running. The actual priming feature didn't seem to work on it, but I turned it on. It did its thing. It started up. Did everything it should have. So now I'm go ahead and take it, put it back on here, close it up, and then I'll go underneath and put on the intake and the exhaust. And if I have time before it gets too late, they're going to be making dinner here pretty soon. I'll go ahead and plumb one of the hoses into the water heater. If it does end up being too late, then we'll just leave it the way it is, and I'll do some more work on it tomorrow, possibly even the next day. I suppose tomorrow I could at least get that thing hooked up if I don't do it today. One thing I am going to do, because of bugs and stuff like that, I'm going to put like a screen around it, at least on, like the front and the back, to try to keep bugs and crap from getting into it. I mean, it's winter, but I still see them around. And a big worry I have is bugs getting in the intake side of this guy here, and who knows what they'll do. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get this guy turned around. Try to keep it so that the cable is on the back side of the heater. So that guy will sit like that. And actually, I got some foam I'm going to put back here, because I would imagine you heard it, but the pump is a little bit loud. So I'm going to put some foam on the back side up against the camper to try to isolate that sound. So I'm going to go grab that real quick. I'm going to close this up just to make sure it doesn't fall. Because that's another thing I'm worried about, is it just falling down. So I'll be right back. All right, so we'll get this up there. If the sound still goes through, then I'll just have to figure something else out. You mount it farther away, maybe get longer brackets or something like that. Go ahead. Okay, so sit just like that. Yeah, it's already starting to get dark. It's one thing I hate about the freaking winter. I don't mind the cold. I mean, I can work in the cold just fine. Just it gets dark too quickly. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the intake and the exhaust for the combustion, and then figure out something with the screen. But anyways, I'll reposition the camera so you can see what I'm doing down here. It's kind of funny. When I first saw people doing this, they just have these regular hose clamps. And I thought, there's no way that it can clamp something like that onto that with a hose clamp. But this is extremely thin, extremely pliable. So that'd actually work. And let's see here, it looks like the intake is next to the fuel line. That's the fuel line you see. So that's the intake, that's the exhaust. Actually, I'll go ahead and take the intake and put it on first, and it's going to go out. There's a an opening back there. Let's take it out there. So hopefully I can get to it. There's no openings on either side. I'm not sure how I'm gonna. How the heck do people do that? Well, I'll try it. I'm gonna have to lower the wall down to even get to that thing. So I'm gonna reposition the camera again. All right, so it turns out there is a little opening here. So you can get the screwdriver in. You can get the screwdriver in back here, get everything tight. There we go. So I got the intake going out that opening there. It's there. The exhaust, since it's exhaust and hot, it goes down out there. Now you have the filter that goes on here and down there still. And so that's the other one that I ordered. Unscrew it. Pull the little mesh out to clean it if you need to. Screw it back together, but you can see, obviously, it's a lot more airflow. And then I'm going to take some foam and wrap it around here, zip tie it top and bottom, so there's no dust that can get in there, because we live in a very, very dusty area. So I'll go ahead and get this guy on. There's that guy. Then you have the muffler. And like I said, it's a straight through design. Hopefully you can see that. And when you mount these things, there's a little opening right there at the bottom. And that's how you know it goes like that. So any condensation that's in here can drip out the bottom there. So we'll go ahead and get this guy on. That guy on. All right, so there's intake and exhaust all hooked up. I'm going to go ahead and run this thing a little bit more. Kind of play around with the controls. And then you figure something out with the, I might not do the screen. It's getting dark already. Stupid. And you see, you got the cold air coming in on the left there, the little arrows, hot air going out. It's taking a few minutes or a few seconds. Still cold air. It's a little bit warmer. Yeah, we've got heat coming out here, so it's definitely lit. This actually makes me really, really excited, really happy. That's awesome. Get a little bit of smoke coming out. This guy's making some noise. Maybe when I put on the foam, it'll quiet that down. I'm gonna go ahead and get something to cover that with. people in groups put a dryer sheet on there. It's nice and thin, free flowing, and you can change it out really easily. For now, I'm going to put the lid over on, or the roof on this thing, let it run for a few minutes, and then check back in. It's getting dark, so I don't think I'll be doing much more with this. All right, so I've been running for a little bit. Nice warm air coming out. Yeah, I got the remote and do all the changing from the remote. And that's weird that temperature up is on the left and not the right. There we go. Lowest setting. This video is far from over, so I still need to figure out how to get that guy back there, because that's what the temperature is that will go off of. When it hits 33, 35 degrees, we'll have a kick on low. Alright, so it's been a few days since I was able to come back out here and work on this thing, but we're back at it. Off camera, I went ahead and cut an area here, so when it's time to fill this thing, I can slide it out, fill it, even if I need to take the cover off or something like that. I do need to work out a way to suspend this, and I don't know if I want like pieces of wood to go down and support it from the bottom, or chains to come from up here somewhere. I'm leaning towards basically legs from the bottom, but we'll have to see about that. For now, until I figure that out, if I need to fill it, I can just rest it on my leg, put the fuel in, put the gas can back down, shove it back in place. But since the last video, I went ahead and received the foam. I'll go around here, and for lack of a better word, we'll call it filter foam. It's very, very thin and see-through, so I'm going to double it up. I already cut it, but yeah, it's going to be folded like that and then wrapped around a few times. I'm in a very dusty area, which I guess technically right now I wouldn't need to worry about it, because the dust is all down, everything's frozen, all that stuff. But I know if I don't do it now, I'll end up forgetting or something like that. So I'll go ahead and do this now. And there we go. And then just to keep it out of the rain and stuff, we'll tuck it up here behind that wire. Still plenty of air for the intake. I got this guy in here for the same reason. Cover for dust. The next thing I want to do is, the sound of the fuel pump is really loud inside. And I did have a little bit of foam, or do have a little bit of foam back here, trying to isolate it from the wall. But I think I need to put some down here as well, because you have metal heater sitting right on metal brackets. And I found some like 1-inch thick foam, like packing foam, that I think I'm going to put there, and may be able to get it so it sits flat. Right now it's leaned back a little bit, but if I get it to sit flat, then it'll be away from the wall. I'll see how good that is, so I'm going to go grab that stuff. And when I'm going back, nice. It did bring it away from the camper. It's about a 1/2 inch away now, or away from the wall. So now it's just nice and steady there. And with this guy closed, yep, so not touching that guy. So isolate a little bit better from the camper wall. Yes, this is perfect. And I got this Y really because of this guy right here. So you can open and close them if you need more air on one side than the other. A lot of the other ones that are out there are just straight open. But this way, if I need to, I can focus more air on that water heater if I need to, or down below. All right, screwdriver. I don't think you can see me over here, but I'm attaching this hose to the heater. So that'll sit like that. And go ahead and, can I just put this like that? Yeah, looks like I can. So I'm going to go ahead. Get this guy on here. And I got 3 holes down here where I can put a screw, and I'll just screw it in right there. Actually, I'll probably better put all the clamps and everything on first before I screw it down. Yeah, I can hook that up. I'm going to leave this other hose off for now because right now I'm just going to be focused on the water heater. So I'll go ahead. There we go. And there's the water heater. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the bottom framing here to the bottom of these vents. I think I'll have it right in the middle. So I'll shoot the hot air in here. Hopefully it'll be okay. And I actually go in the water heater, up, and then out this exhaust. Do have it sealed off there, but it's open here and open up top, so air that goes in here can come out here and just go up and wherever. So that'll be all right. Let's go ahead and measure. Started about 2.5 inches up to 6 inches. So anywhere between there and there. Just make sure it's pretty much in the middle. So we're looking at 14 inches from this side to there. So right there's the middle. And we have, I think it's a 3-inch hose, a little over 3 inches. 3 1/8, 75 millimeter technically. Bada bing. So sit just like that. So that's good. And now what I'm going to do here is I have some 1/2-inch weather stripping. And I'm going to take it and just wrap around here so it's halfway decent seal. See, that's up there. Where am I? Stop on. Look at the right side. Some of that. It's about 30 degrees when I started this, and then fog came in. Sun's going down. I mean, there's no sun, but it was all clouds and fog today. But I think this will be good for today. I'll go ahead and not worry about the bottom tonight, the dump tank. I'm gonna need to cut something like a piece of wood and so this holds securely right there. Heater's still doing good. There, that's good. All right, there's that. I got the valve over here closed off. Hardly anything's coming out the bottom. I think we're doing pretty good. All right, so this is pretty much how it's going to stay. We did use it one night. A lot of people out there will say that the pump is loud, does a lot of ticking. That is very accurate. I have it wrapped up right now. Try to insulate it or isolate it from like the body of the heater, but it was still loud enough that we could hear it inside the camper and woke us up at night. Luckily, it seems like the big storm that went down south this winter took the majority of our cold weather with it. So we only had to use this one night. This next week, we're supposed to have originally like 5 days of, like close to zero with like low teens temperatures. But it looks like at the most, it's going to be one more night. So I really don't need to do much more with this. Eventually, I will be taking this box off because it doesn't do anything anymore. We'll be putting the hose down there before next winter. You don't need it now anymore. It did its job. I was happy with it. We do have another heater that we're going to be putting in the little pickup camper. So there'll be that. Plus I did order a quieter pump. I don't know if I'm going to put it on this one yet or on the other one. Probably this one. But as far as anything else goes, I mean, I do need to still hook up a chain or cable to where this comes down and it just sits like a table so I can pull the heater out and refill it, do anything I need to it. I do want to clean this up a little bit, get it looking at least better. But I hate doing a whole lot of work because if you're following us, you know that we're going to have pallet wood siding up on this, and I don't want to do all this work and then have to take it off, put a pallet wood siding, and then put it back on. We already still need to put in the gutters up there. But anyways, that's where we're at with the Vevor 5 kilowatt heater. I'll probably go ahead and, I will go ahead and make another video for when we put the new pump in and see if it's quieter. But until then, I'll keep kicking up dust. Faux shizzle.